Welcome to Breakup Cheater, where true emotions meet unforgettable stories of betrayal, heartbreak, and resilience. Each story we share takes you deep into the raw human side of love and loss, moments that shatter trust, test loyalty, and reveal the strength it takes to rise again. If you've ever felt the sting of deception or the quiet strength of moving on, you're in the right place. I never imagined the day I walked out of my job for the last time would also be the day my marriage collapsed. The room was filled with laughter, champagne glasses clinking, colleagues patting me on the back, and a slideshow of my 35 years of service playing in the background. My children, Emma, 26, and Ryan, 23, stood by my wife, smiling politely. But something in their smiles was off, strained, almost rehearsed. Then she walked up to me. Margaret, my wife of 31 years. The woman I built a home with, the one who held my hand through thick and thin. She didn't have the warm eyes I remembered. Instead, she held a thick, cream-colored envelope. "Richard," she said softly, almost too softly to be heard over the crowd. "We need to talk." My heart skipped. Her tone didn't fit the occasion. And then, in front of everyone, she placed the envelope in my hand. "Consider this your new beginning," she whispered. I opened it with trembling fingers. The room blurred around me as I read the words. Petition for dissolution of marriage. The shattering moment. I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because my brain refused to accept it. "This is a joke, right?" I said, my voice louder than I intended. Heads turned. Conversations paused. She didn't flinch. "No, Richard. I'm serious. We haven't been happy for a long time, and I can't keep pretending." The applause that had just been for me moments ago now felt like a cruel echo. I felt the blood drain from my face. "Margaret here. Now. At my retirement party." She avoided my eyes. Emma and Ryan looked away as if the walls had suddenly become fascinating. That was when I knew they knew. "You too knew about this?" asked, my voice cracking. Emma bit her lip. Ryan stuffed his hands in his pockets. Their silence was my answer. Cracks in the perfect life. I left the party early. No speeches, no farewell toast. Just the hollow sound of my shoes against the polished floor as I walked out of the hall where my colleagues were too stunned, or too polite to stop me. Home, the house felt foreign. The living room smelled faintly of her perfume, but the warmth was gone. I poured myself a drink, hands shaking, and stared at the walls that had heard every argument and every whispered goodnight for 3 decades. When Margaret came home later that night, suitcase in hand, I was waiting. "Why?" asked simply. She sighed. "Richard, you were always working. Always tired. We became strangers. That's your reason. After 31 years. Because I worked to provide for this family." Her eyes hardened. "It's more than that." That more sat like a stone in my chest. "Who is he?" Her lips parted, but no words came out. That silence said more than any confession ever could. The betrayal unfolds. Days turned into a blur of numbness. Barely ate. I didn't answer calls from well-meaning friends. I sat with my thoughts, the divorce papers on the table like a vulture waiting for its meal. Then the truth came, not from her, but from a mutual friend who couldn't keep the secret anymore. Margaret had been having an affair for almost a year, with a man from her charity committee. His name was Charles. Wealthy, charming, divorced. What gutted me wasn't just that she cheated. It was that our kids knew. Emma had seen them at a restaurant. Ryan had overheard a phone call. They didn't tell me because their mother told them. "It's just complicated. Don't upset your father." Complicated. That was the word used to justify my public humiliation. Called a family meeting. No more hiding. Emma arrived first, looking pale and nervous. Ryan followed, keeping his head down. Margaret came last, as if strolling into a casual dinner, not a reckoning. I placed the affair photos I had been sent on the table. Her and Charles. Hands touching. Lips locked. "So this is what 31 years means to you," I said, my voice low but sharp. Margaret closed her eyes. "Richard." "No." You don't get to explain this away. You handed me divorce papers at my retirement party. You let me thank you in my speech while you planned to walk out the door. Emma started crying. Dad, we didn't want you to find out like this. Like this. Bart. You knew. Both of you knew. And you let me stand there like a fool. Ryan finally spoke. She said it was better this way. That you wouldn't take it as hard if it was formal. I laughed bitterly. Oh, formal. Well, congratulations. It was spectacularly formal. The divorce moved forward quickly. Her lawyer was already prepared. I didn't fight for the house. I didn't fight for her approval. I fought for my dignity. I moved into a modest apartment near the lake. Quiet, empty, but mine. At first, the kids sided with her. They visited her new place, where Charles soon began showing up like a shadow in my old life. I didn't beg. I didn't shout. I simply withdrew. The man they thought would crumble instead learned to live alone. And that's when the tide turned. The regret. 6 months after the divorce, Emma showed up at my door, tears streaking her cheeks. Dad, I'm sorry, she whispered. I let her in. She told me how Margaret and Charles were already arguing about money, about trust, about the future. Ryan came 2 weeks later saying, I should have told you, Dad. I should have been brave. I didn't yell. I didn't gloat. I listened. Because despite the pain, they were still my children. Margaret, though, she called once, left a message. I think I made a mistake. I deleted it. A new beginning. A year has passed now. I still feel the ache sometimes, in the quiet moments, when I remember the woman I thought would grow old with me. But I also feel something else. Peace. I volunteer at a local community center. I fish on weekends. I've even started talking to a kind woman named Linda, who lost her husband 3 years ago. The scars remain, yes, but they remind me that I survived. And every time I look at my kids, who now visit often, who ask me for advice, who hug me like they mean it, I know they regret the part they played in my heartbreak. I don't rub it in. I don't need to. Because the truth is, the best revenge isn't anger or bitterness. It's moving forward. Margaret traded 3 decades of loyalty for a fleeting thrill. And now she lives with that choice every day. As for me, I finally retired, not just from my job, but from carrying the weight of people who never truly valued me. Betrayal doesn't always come with warning signs. Sometimes it comes with champagne glasses and applause, wrapped in a crisp envelope at your own party. But healing, real healing, comes quietly too. Not with revenge, not with rage, but with reclaiming the life that was almost stolen from you. And that's exactly what I've done. Thank you for joining us on this journey through pain, truth, and healing. Stories like this remind us that even the deepest betrayals can lead to new beginnings. If this story moved you, share your thoughts below. And don't forget to subscribe to Breakup Cheater for more real, powerful tales of the human heart.